hope you're hungry because I made cookies. Yay! I have some very exciting news if you do not know already, and that is I have officially finished my Bachelor of Criminology and Criminal Justice. I finished last Friday. Amazing. So my graduation isn't until the 19th of December. And one of the things that I love about my university is that they A, live stream it, and B, leave it on their YouTube channel for people to watch forever and ever after that, which is pretty awesome. So if any of you are interested in maybe seeing my graduation, or seeing like an Australian university graduation for those of you overseas, let me know. I will give you links and all that jazz. So last time you saw me, I was just about to go to Sydney for a few days, and it was such a wonderful time just driving down to Sydney with my dad, and we got to see cousins I had never met before. Spent a lovely few days in Sydney with my auntie, and then driving back was just fun as well. So it was a really good time, and I think a lot of you already know that I did go to cemeteries. The first cemetery that I went to was St. Albans Cemetery, and this was not planned. It was completely unexpected. Dad and I drove down to Wiseman's Ferry, which is about 45 minutes, hour-ish drive northwest-ish of Sydney. It's a really old town, and a lot of it, or most of it, all of it, yeah, I think that's it, all of it, was convict built, so it's really old, really pretty, really historical. June, July last year was the first time we went to Wiseman's Cemetery. We went to Wiseman's Ferry, and that's when I stumbled upon Wiseman's Ferry Cemetery, and half of that is hidden. So we didn't go there again, as much as I would have loved to, but we decided to go further than Wiseman's Ferry and drive to St. Albans. And to get to St. Albans from Wiseman's Ferry, you have to go on one of the boats that take cars. That's the first time I've ever been on one of those. And then St. Albans is also convict built, and there's not much in St. Albans. There was this really amazing, beautiful convict built building, which is now the St. Albans Inn / bar / pub, and it was so pretty, and we had a coffee there, and it was just amazing. And there's lots of convict trails, so you can go walking along where the convicts went and things like that. And then pretty much after St. Albans, it's dirt road for quite a while. So there's two ways from like Wiseman's Ferry to get to St. Albans, and so we went one way and we decided to explore more and come back the other way. So you have to drive around for quite a while and get to the other ferry boat that takes the cars back to Wiseman's Ferry. So as we were driving along that road, like we came around a corner and all of a sudden there was a cemetery, and I was just like, Dad, stop. It was tiny, but it's literally right against the side of the road, and it was just so beautiful. And again, so Wiseman's Ferry Cemetery, I saw my first fleeter person who's buried there, and so first fleeters are convicts, and at St. Albans I saw my second first fleeter. I'm just like, oh. So here's video footage of St. Albans Cemetery now. So that was just really, really amazing to stumble upon and see, and oh, it was amazing. So coming back from Sydney, one of the cemeteries that my ancestors are buried in is Argent's Hill Cemetery, which is in Argent's Hill, which is near Barrowville, when Barrowville is about an hour less than that from Maxville in New South Wales. Last year, we only made it as far as Argent's Hill itself, where there are only like 3 buildings in the centre of it. So you have to keep going quite a bit further to get to Argent's Hill Cemetery, and it's a really, really, really long dirt road. And after a while, driving on dirt roads when you're not used to it can get quite annoying and frustrating. And so this trip we were just like, we have to go to Argent Hill Cemetery. It is the last cemetery in this area on, in this Barraville, Argent Hill area on my list. And so we didn't get to go there going down to Sydney, but we made sure that we would go there coming back from Sydney. And Argent Hill isn't really clear on Google Maps. Like, you type it in, it'll give you like the location, but like you can't really tell it's a cemetery. There's like all the cemeteries I know of on Google Maps, like you can clearly see it's a cemetery, but this one, like, you couldn't tell. And I know that my great aunt has told me many times that there is no sign, it just appears, which is exactly what happened. So we were just driving and we literally thought, is it ever gonna be here? And I know from Google Maps that according to Google Maps, the cemetery is after the corner of, is it Grace's Road and Mackay's Road? So we were driving along on Grace's Road. We're looking for Mackay's Road, which is supposed to appear eventually. And then all of a sudden, there's a road, and it's what's it called? Lower. It's one of these really weird names that I can't pronounce. My dad can pronounce it really well. It's like Lower Buckabandini Road or something. And then all of a sudden after that, there's a cemetery. It literally just appeared out of nowhere, and I was just like, ah. And so it was just amazing. So in Argent Hill Cemetery is my great? Is it great? Yes. Great-great-grandparents, Alexander Mackay and Elizabeth Gill. So they're buried in Argent Hill Cemetery. They're the only direct ancestors I have buried in Argent Hill. So here is video footage of that. So as you can see, Argent Hill Cemetery was just so beautiful, and it was really peaceful and just incredible and amazing. And so you can see from some of that footage, there is another part of the cemetery that's across a driveway, because there was a house that's down the bottom. And so there's a couple more graves on the other side of the driveway, and we didn't really feel like comfortable driving down the driveway in order to get to that part of the cemetery. So we were just like, no, we'll just stick with this one for now. But it was just so beautiful and so incredible, and I was very happy after that, and it was amazing. Anyway, so I managed to bring back a few goodies from Sydney, because we always fly recently. I haven't really wanted to take back family history stuff just because it's not all going to fit in my carry-on. I don't really want to put it in my suitcase because they get thrown around, and I just wanted to keep it nice. So this trip, because we drove, I was like, yes, I can put things in the back seat and just lay them out and they will be good. So I bring back 2 folders. First one is of my gal side of the family, which is just, there's lots of stuff in here, which is amazing, and I'm going to do blog posts and videos on all of these things because I want to show you everything. This one isn't so full, but it's about my Kroll side of the family, which is my dad's grandmother on his dad's side. So this is just a couple of things in there, and there's original birth certificates of my grandmother from Scotland, which is incredible. Other exciting find was my auntie, when she's cleaning, she'll stumble across more things that my grandfather had, and she found a whole bunch more postcards and photos, things that I had never seen before. Look at all this stuff. One of my favourite finds, or one of the most beautiful things that I think I've ever seen, and I've already done a blog post on these, are these wedding invitations. They are just so gorgeous, and it's like I would never have expected to find these. And what I'm gonna do is gonna research the families of the people who got married that my great-grandparents were invited to, and maybe see if I can track down any descendants or relatives or anything, and just like let them know that, hey, we have a wedding invitation to your ancestor. That's pretty cool. So if you want to see that blog post, I'll put the link below. The other really exciting thing that I got to bring back is my great-grandfather William Gow's diary from the year 1887. We found this a couple of years ago, quite unexpectedly, and we were going through boxes after, when we were just going through boxes, really, and it is just amazing. So this is it. It's still it's starting to fall apart a bit, but for the most part, it's still quite good. So look at that. That is my great-grandfather's writing. How good. So it says William Gow's diary for 1887, and he was a gardener and a landscaper. So he came to Australia in 1886 when he was 18 from Scotland. So he was 19 when he was writing this, which is just amazing. And it was the 50th year of the reign of Her Majesty Queen Victoria. And it's at the front, as most diaries probably did in those days. It's just got lots of information, like about holidays and businesses and random things that I will read. I'm yet to read everything that he's written in here in great detail yet. But like, he's kept a list of letters that he sent, and oh, that's not cool. There are names in here that I recognize, which is awesome. So this is an example of a week in his diary. He's written stuff here. How cool is that? Like, what I want to do is I do want to transcribe, and just make sure I've noted everything down in here, and take pictures of each page, and just make sure that it's there, because it is starting to fall apart. So that is the plan. Anyway, that was a bit of a, it's really hot. It is still spring, and it is really, really hot, like unusually hot for spring. In mid-October, we were just like, dying. Anything above 30 degrees Celsius in Brisbane is just like, nah, just go away, please. So it's just too hot at the moment, and apparently it's supposed to be a really long and dry and hot summer. Thankfully, I can escape that in February for a bit, when I come to Texas and Salt Lake City for Route 2nd FGS, which is amazing. So yeah, I will see you guys next time. So, bye!